Good morning, evening, afternoon. Masati here. Welcome back to Masati on Sunday, where what do we do here? Well, we find out the truth. That's what it's really about. This very beautiful woman actually was doing some dental work, and she's always telling me, it's like, what's the one word that can describe you? And basically, the one word that popped out was truth. So really, my whole life been trying to find the truth. And as you know today, what's happening is that truth is coming out, transparency is coming out, and it's not because the deep state or people, trying to investigators, journalisms, and all that coming through, but it literally is about the transparency of the universe. This reality of time and space is wanting to create itself in less dense space. Just like any invention has the teeth. Fantastic. Kaylin, it's crazy how your teeth affects your health, and I'll talk about that. But back to the truth, okay? We'll talk about that on a Total Human Reset, though, coming up on 2025, where we just revamp everything for you. So again, Total Human Reset 2025. But coming back to the truth, again, people think that, it's journalism, it's somebody, digging for the truth and so on like that. But in reality, people who do that is really fantastic. But if the consciousness is not behind them, they end up dying. They end up strange suicides. They end up with crazy stuff, right? They end up just disappearing, right? It's because the consciousness does not dictate or is not, say, nourishing the truth. Now consciousness is actually nourishing the truth, and it's not because, again, it's not because consciousness was dark or anything like that. It's just that transparency needs to be, and what transparency is about, again, less dense time and space. So this is where we can do a lot more things. Truth comes out because we can't hide it in the darknesses, say, of our soul. We can't hide it past in back in the day, because, well, even back in the day, truth from back in the day has to, say, come out for us to, like somebody said, truth, life, embodiment, right? So the truth of us is coming out. So as the truth of us coming out, what means is all our toxins, spiritual toxins, genetic toxins, religious toxins, political toxins, financial toxins, that are in the system has to disappear as well. So that's what's happening. And then there's great people like, say, RFK, or Elon, or sure, they're shady, sometimes not as shady as others, but they want to seek the truth. They're just running business, right? I don't know why I got into that, but a lot of family truths come out as well, and this is what we're going to be talking about on operating the holiday season in liberating you from the chains, basically breaking the chains of holiday liberation, breaking the chains of the past. What show were we talking to? Megan Kelly listening to? Yeah. So I don't know. Do you guys watch or listen to Megan Kelly? Really fantastic, fantastic individual. And I was watching. Interesting enough, I was watching this woman. She wrote a book on the Kennedys. Okay. Uh, she wrote a book on the Kennedys, and uh, if somebody can post it on there, what show, Megan Kelly, but it was on the Kennedys. Maybe if you can find out for them, so the team can post it. It was really, really good, and it was amazing how well possessed or controlled the Kennedys were. I'm actually going to do a podcast on it on my new podcast, Good to Great to Limitless. Okay, where we go through on, what great people did right, what did they wrong, and how we could improve from it so we don't have to make the same mistakes. But in this scenario, they were showing how dark the Kennedys were, right? And what was happening, obviously, with all the Kennedys, basically, using women, using their power, using their control, but they were really controlled, right? Really dark, dark issues within that family, right? The sins of the father, so to speak. And yeah, it's terrible. It's grotesque. Of course it is. But look at your family dynamics. I've worked with a ton of people, and their family, it's just different levels of darkness. That's all. it's crazy how dark our families or our lineage of human societies have been. Look at the French Revolution. The French Revolution, the political system got so dark that they revolted, right? Does it have to come to that aspect of it? Leaders should actually start to understand that it's not just rules and regulations and policies that they put in place. It's actually about cleaning their own shit up in the background because that's what they're sending out to the public. That's what they're sending out to the people. So it starts there. And that's what hopefully this new paradigm is going to be doing is like getting rid of the darkness within the leaders. So powerful leaders can come through. And that's what guides us. Those leaders, the powerful leaders back in the day, and there's very, very few, probably just like a handful, by the way. And again, I'll talk about that on Good to Great to Limitless. But those individuals lead the path, and the path that they're leading is how to awaken consciousness, how to elevate consciousness. I think we forgot that aspect of, say, duties or roles in leadership. Now, leadership does not just mean political leaders or religious leaders, it means leaders of the family. Right, whoever runs the family, whether it's the man in the family, or the woman in the family, and I see a lot of problems. The Kennedys and the women they destroyed. Exactly. That's the book. Thanks, guys. It's crazy, crazy. By the way, I have something to say about that. Anyway, but it is the leaders. So in this case, it's the family leaders. And let's talk about, well, family leadership. Okay? Say the man of the house. A lot of times nowadays, it's the woman of the house that actually dictates what's happening. Okay. And that's where we have a problem, because in today's society, through comedy series, through the way the media portrays the man of the house, usually the man in the house is like an idiot, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know what to say, so the woman has to take that role. It's really, well, it's disheartening because it destroys the family culture. Maybe that's what their plan is, but do you have to go along with it? Right. Let's go ahead, take a deep breath in. Just make this an experiential show, where I'm not just talking about content or topics for the brain, but let's help you change it frequency wise so you can disconnect from, say, the past, your family, and whether your family is great or whether it's your family was really dark, it really doesn't matter. You can be a better version of it. Obviously, if your family is great, you have a good, you have a better head start. If your family was into some of the darkness, some of the traditions back in the day, especially cultural traditions that turn dark, or religious mantras, traditions that turn dark, now you are paying it. Now you are paying for the price for it. Let's go ahead, take a deep breath in again. We'll bring on some live guests and we'll go through the facets of their family, and see what's going on with them, and not only free them of their family dynamic, but then free you as well. Because most likely, a lot of the families, well, you'll probably learn a lot uh, from what shows up on these great people here. First, we'll go to, is it Natalia or Natasha? Sorry, Natasha. Hey, Natasha, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Masati. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Um, all right. Did anything special that you want to work on, or are you new to XI?
I'm not new. I've worked with you for more than 10 years. Yeah. I've
Uh,
had yeah, an interesting year where everything's just crumbled, but I'm coming through it now.
Okay. So, Natasha, so what's happening for you, if you don't mind just me reading you, and then we can talk about it. And if I'm wrong, just to say I'm wrong. But I'm usually 99.99999% right. Anyway, so for you, what I'm seeing is that, you've done a great job cleaning up. You've solidified who you are, through the XI work, if that makes sense to you. But what's happening for you, hon, is that as you elevate yourself, your family and society as a whole is literally dragging you down. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not that it's not that you. are going backwards. And that's one of the things that I just want to, expand on. Take a breath in, hon. Notice your shoulders, okay? Your stature. All right. Uh, so notice your stature, hon. It's really important for you, okay? So one of the biggest things I want to expand on is those individuals who have raised their XIQ, have elevated their exponential intelligence quotient. What's happening to you all is as society, as consciousness becomes, more and more transparent. Okay. People are going to be looking for leaders. And this is the problem with today's leaders. That's why a lot of the leaders are being called out. Okay. So they're looking for real leaders, and it's not what's happened, what you've done in the world. It's not how much money you've made, what businesses you've opened up, and all that. It literally is the new leadership for this new paradigm. Okay. This new, especially the new business paradigm is like, how brilliant are you resonating at? What is your XIQ? And that's what it's about. So you all who have been here, especially like Natasha, past 10 years, your intelligence, your exponential intelligence, closer definition of what humans should run like, are higher. And those are the leaders that are coming out. So you're going to have the masses literally at your door, Natasha. So you need to learn to separate from you compared to everybody else that's surrounding you. Does that make sense for you?
Mm, very much.
I literally see you like back in the day. Um, what was that fairy tale? Where um, where you're there and there's like th- thousands of mice like coming at you and eating away at you. And that's what it feels like frequency wise. Does that make sense to you?
Very much.
Yeah. Somebody said frequency is the new currency. I was actually thinking of creating a frequency coin, on how much frequencies that you have or time coins. So take a deep breath in. So, like Natasha and many of you that are out there, like I said, you are all the new leaders because you are at a very high level of frequency. And again, that is the new currency. It'll take you far within the new paradigm. Okay. If you can hold your space and not allow people to take your frequencies away, just like Natasha. So for you, Natasha, the reason why I'm asking you to watch your posture, because you have a posture, I mean, you're beautiful, but you have this posture of taking on the burdens of people, because that was back in the day. So you're going back to the old way of doing things. Does that
Mm.
make sense for you?
Mm.
Okay. Do you have any questions, by the way?
Um, just such an interesting year where everything just crumbled. I actually thought I was going to die this year. It was that bad. And I kept feeling my life force getting sucked out of me. I would be walking in a shopping center and my life force would be sucked out, and I would literally think I was dying. It was very strange. Thank goodness for the exile meditations. It's the only thing that kept me going this year. But I feel like I've come through it, but have I? I don't know. It was
Yes.
really,
No, go ahead.
no, it was really dark what I've
Yes.
experienced here. Yeah.
Uh, Natasha, you again a perfect example of what I was talking about. You go into a mall, you feel like you're getting the life sucked out of you, right?
Mm.
That's basically the visual that I was seeing, just like all these mice just like running and you're just a big piece of cheese on and they're just eating away at your frequencies. That's what's
Mm.
happening. People at a very deep level, even those individuals that that you love, they'll take even more because they have access to you, by the way. Right. And so even you can't even say trust your loved ones. And this is really highly important when you're going into the holidays coming up. Okay.
Mm.
By the way, Thanksgiving just happened here. Was it last week? I think last week. Yeah, last week. Comment in, by the way, how your Thanksgiving was. Did you guys feel the frequencies? Did you guys feel the family just like sucking away? And again, it could be just that's just what they do. It's not like a vicious, or a vicious intent, literally, but that's the way the family dynamics run. And then when you go out into the world, the same dynamics run for you, okay? Because it is a fractal universe. What happens, say, in the family happens outside the family. It's not like Vegas. What stays in Vegas, it doesn't stay in Vegas. It just goes out. So take a breath in, hon. So you've done a fantastic job, Tasha. You're actually starting to see what's happening to you, which is really beautiful because you've separated yourself. You've become an observer of what's happening, and this is where you can actually start to do something about it. And obviously, you made a session, your death experience, and you've done it very intelligently. Like I see a lot of you, by the way. Take a deep breath in. And this is what I'm going to talk about. T is how do you protect yourself? Okay, you've done a really fantastic job, Natasha. What you've done is, it's actually quite brilliant. What you've done, and this is where you feel like death, by the way. Okay, is that you allowed those individuals in the mall or even your family to eat away at your old version of who you are. Then each moment you're creating a whole different version of you. Okay, so again, it's not time frames. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into the science. But each moment, just imagine it's just a new version, a new version, a new version. You create yourself. Okay, it's not, time doesn't transition. Like, you don't move through time. You create a new version of yourself every moment. So what you've done, Natasha, which is really, really fantastic, is like, oh, I'll let them eat away my old self. My new self can blossom. Okay. So I'll put it in a way that many of you can understand. Take a breath in, everybody. Close your eyes. All right. All right. So imagine you're this beautiful blossom. You're this beautiful flower that's starting to blossom. But there's just some crusty stuff. There's just some crusty stuff around you. All right. And what you're doing is like, well, gosh, you know what? It's kind of tough to get out of this crusty stuff. It's the layers of whatever, family dynamics, societies, patterns, and so on like that. So what you've done is really, again, quite brilliant. Is you've allowed those individuals, like at the mall, your family, loved ones, whoever. It's like, gosh, I'll let them eat away the crust, and then you walk away clean, and then you walk away into a blossom, just a fresh blossom. So what you're feeling, especially after this session here, Natasha, is a newness. But that newness is so raw, everything will be, say, hypersensitive for you because everything is just so fresh. Did that make sense for you? Okay. And your abilities are coming out, by the way. Are you in healing mastery or
I've
no?
done healing mastery, but I did it
Oh,
years
awesome.
ago. But
Okay.
I'd like to do it again.
Yeah, you can replay it, or again, you can join the new one, either one. But your abilities are coming out. Okay. You have a keen sense of hearing, so like auditory, and you can hear frequencies that are not of this realm, by the way. That makes sense for you.
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah. Well, you sense things in people, right?
Yes, yes, very much.
Very
Very
much so.
much.
Well, you sense it by, like, through the process of hearing or
Okay.
audit. Okay. Take a breath in. All right. So in this session, as we end, hon, what I was helping you with, again, strengthening yourself, okay, turning into that new blossom with, say, a solid shell around you, your shell, nobody else's shell. So everything will feel really, really fresh and clean, and really intense because you're still raw. Two, helping you, say, protect yourself, not by like creating barricades or anything, but two, protecting yourself as you are a bright light, and people should honor that light, by the way. Okay. So you learn how to do that, by the way. And again, the human upgrade would be fantastic for you because that'll perpetuate you into, say, your strength. All right. So nice job. Does that make
Thank
sense?
you. Thank
How do you
you.
feel, by the way?
Yes. Oh, I feel amazing.
Yeah. So that's the new
Oh,
you, owning the new
absolutely.
you. Yeah. And the
Yeah.
big thing, one last thing. Oh, do you have anything else, Natasha?
Mm. No,
Beautiful. Okay.
go ahead.
So you feel really different. You feel like you're not, you feel like you remove that sign that says, "Hey, I'll take on the burdens of the world off your back." So I think your posture will actually be like more confident for you. So
Okay,
that makes sense.
wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Nice job. We'll go to Aldano. But before we do, one of the biggest things, guys, is that you really don't want to protect yourself. Okay. Because if you're protecting yourself, just think, you protect yourself in a different way, and I'll help you with that. But, and we'll do that with Eldano, I guess. But you don't want to protect yourself. You just want to improve who you are. Children need protection. Adults, you should know how to protect yourself by the time you get into adulthood. But again, in this today's reality, unfortunately, we don't do that, right? Because we don't raise our kids properly. So we always need to protect them as they go through life, and then they become weak. So in this case, what you want to do is like you want to strengthen your light, so you come. So when people come see you, they honor you and they go, "Oh, they're very, very bright." I don't want to jump into their space. Okay? So that's the way you want to do it. That's how you protect. All right. So we'll go to Aldano, and then we'll take time to analyze or harmonize you all. All right. Hey,
Hi,
Aldana, how are you?
hi, Mas. How are you?
Fine. All right. How are you doing, hon? Anything special you want to work on? Family
Um,
structure?
yeah, just I'm going to see my family for Christmas with my two daughters.
Mhm.
In I didn't been there for like 10 years for especially for Christmas.
Mhm.
And my family it's one big mess. So patterns wise and everything. But I
Yeah.
work with you for about last 5 years.
Okay.
So I don't know, just
Yeah.
what can you see?
Okay. Well, take a breath in, Aldana, and just notice your throat, your upper chest area, and your jawline. So, Aldana, overall, whether it's your family or other individuals, you tend not to speak up. You basically morph into, say, somebody else's identity. You've done a fantastic job through XI, but in this case, you need to step it up a bit because, the world, consciousness is demanding more of you. Okay. By the way,
Mhm.
it's not just Aldana, it's many of you. This is where you've trained, an XI, and now you have to step up. You have to come into the game, whether you like it or not. Okay, you've been, say, the chosen one because you chose yourself. All right. So what that means is like when you go back into your family, and that's what we're working on for you, on creating that frequency, so you automatically like speak up. Okay, it's not a thought process here. It's not about your past. It literally is. It's like what needs to be said, what needs to be. Your frequencies need to like stay strong no matter where you are. Does that
Yeah.
make sense for you? Okay. In the past, I think you used to actually hide away. Um,
Yes.
yeah. And I think in the past, you might even have an issue showing your face on camera to a live audience.
Yes. I
Yeah.
was I was ashamed overall myself. My look, my name, everything about me was like
Yep.
so. Yes.
So this is a huge step for you, hon. I just love it. That you're actually, it's like, hey, this is who I am. Okay. So again, beautiful woman, but in the past, again, maybe not ridiculed, but say your parents very, very insecure,
Hmm.
afraid of, especially through religion, which is really quite interesting. There's a lot of religious value in your family. Does that make sense
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, it is, but it's all messed up and wrong.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that religion is supposed to strengthen you and make you a conqueror of the world, make you a
Yes.
conqueror of time and space. But unfortunately, religions try to conquer other humans, which is crazy. Anyway, uh, for you, the religions have made your family very, very insecure. They're afraid of going to hell or afraid of meeting their maker when they die. And it
Mm-hmm.
creates, so as people get old in your family, hun, there's this earthquake, this tremor that runs in the family dynamics, and then everybody starts to feel it, by the way.
Mhm.
I don't know if somebody is aging in your family or
Yeah, so my uncle died about 2 years ago. My grandpa health just suddenly like really go down in the last few months. And my mom last year, she been diagnosed with a cancer,
hmm?
and we didn't know if she gonna make it or not. It's looked like she's in redemption now,
Yep.
but it's like a lot of things it start falling.
Yes. So those individuals, again, they've chosen not to, go
Yeah,
into the paradigm. Okay, so
yeah.
it's what it is. So let's help them. Okay, just help them understand that they're not going to be, I guess, victimized by God. Which is really kind of sad to say, but that's what they think. So that tremor that runs in the family, because when people start to die, right? How many of you out there, you've had a loved one die, right, or get close to death, and it shakes you up. It's like shit, you know, what have I done with my life? Have I been a good person? And all those religious factors come through, and this is where, gosh, I'm not a good person, and this is where you start to like quiver in your boots and go, fuck, you know what? If I die right now, I'll probably go to hell. I'm going to go to hell, right? That's what literally people think about. So literally in your family, Aldana, when you go back, you'll see them shake and like they'd be so scared because, um, it's an awakening time. They're going to go see their maker and it's like, shit, I'm going to hell, right? Because I wasn't good enough. I didn't be the best and so on like that. So that's what's happening in your family. It creates again a lot of insecurities. And then when you have kids, what they do is they love you a lot, by the way, Aldano. They love
Mm-hmm.
you so much that you couldn't be your own self.
No, I never was able to be myself around them. I every time when I tried to show, it was like smashed, like make a fun of it or something. It's like so I stopped. Eventually, I just like shut down completely because it was like no point. But now it's like I feel like I finally like becoming myself. I'm not sure
Mhm.
who I am. But I feel like finally I'm start my inside, my real me, it start coming out, and I don't want to go back to that. I just like it's me, and either I accept it or
Yes.
go.
I love it. I love it, hon. So you are actually going back to your family, just like many of you will. You're going back to your family as the new you. And you're basically, if you can stand, say, the wrath of your family in your new identity, then you can stand it for anything. And that's what I was saying. What happens in the family happens outside of you, right?
Yeah,
So you're going to go back to your family. You've got three daughters, you said? Or did I
two
say two?
two daughters.
How many? Two daughters or three?
Yeah, two.
Why do I see three? Um, one, two, three. I see one more around you.
Okay.
I don't know if you lost a
No,
child.
no.
Um, oh, well, we'll get back into that. Oh, oh, one of your daughters sees things, right? She's not
Yes,
here.
my
Okay. See,
teenage daughter. She sometimes see things.
yeah, she has a friend. That kind of messes her up.
Oh, that would explain a lot.
Yeah. So literally, it's like she's a duplicate. So I'm going. I thought
Mhm.
you like, well, not like complete twins, but like your daughter. How old is your daughter?
14.
She okay. You're 14. She has a younger version of herself, like at 12.
Mhm.
Um, what happened to her at 11 or 12? By the way.
When she was 10, she was actually somebody was like attached itself and you remove that person. And
Right.
then she went through in a school, going from primary to secondary school. She went through a lot bullying and trying to suicide as well.
That's
Again, so
Yeah, so the suicide. Okay. So let's clean that up for her. All right. Because sometimes, when you remove somebody from somebody, then, if they don't strengthen themselves like she should have,
Mm-hmm.
or, if we had, say, maybe if you were stronger, she would have seen how to do it properly, but
Yeah.
um, it didn't work out. So anyway, let's just detach that one identity from her, if that makes sense to you, because
Thank you. Yes.
this is where the suicide happens. Because if she's happier on the other side, because it's safer.
Mm-hmm.
So then, if she committed, say, try to commit suicide, then sometimes they create a duplicate of themselves at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? So that's why
Okay.
I'm seeing a younger version of her, and I'm going, oh. So they felt like twins, but like, a couple of years apart, which is
Yes.
kind of interesting. All right. So again, do you guys see how like suicidal or near death type patterns happen?
Mm-hmm.
It just literally stops you in time, and it creates like a duplicate that stays for some people forever, and they just go through life and they wonder why they feel like a duplicate is
Mm-hmm.
there, or they feel not complete. So take a breath and let's just work on your daughters as well. So when you go into your family, one, your daughters won't get, say, controlled or envied by the elder that are dying. That's another big thing in family dynamics, by the way. Okay. And I'll keep working on you, but overall, this is the family, all of you. Let's get
Yeah.
that as well. So one thing in family situations, and again, it's not that, you know, the elders in your families have bad hearts, but it's just a wish. Basically, most people, when they get close to death, what happens is they look at their life and they go, shit, you know what? I didn't live it the way I should have, because they didn't become exponentially intelligent, right? Uh,
Yes.
so what happens is they start envying the youth. And then, grandma, say, picks up like your, beautiful little girl there, and it's like, come here. And then what grandma basically goes, gosh, you know what? I wish I would have cherished those moments when I was young like her. And then
Mm-hmm.
what happens is that they just dump all their old age, their diseases, their frequencies into that child, and then they want to grab the child's youth. And again, it's not because they're vicious or anything like that, but people who are, say, drowning, they'll grab at anything, right? Not bad intent, but literally people who are drowning they'll grab at anything. Believe me, I actually try to save a couple of people who are drowning. Never do that again. They literally will pull you down. This was just a girl like half my weight. She literally pulled me down. So next time, throw a lifesaver. But in this case, what people do, what parents do when they go to grandma's house or grandparents' house, it's like literally you're throwing your kids are their lifesaver, and they just like grab onto you like that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so take a breath in, guys. So we'll work on your two daughters. Just make them two rather than three for
Thank
you.
you.
Oh, I think you just felt a release off your, I would say, womb area. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes. Actually, the pain go away. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the science on that. So your daughter creates an extra version of herself. But for you, you're seeing frequency wise, Aldana, you're actually seeing that. It's like, why do I have three kids? And then it's like, and then it creates a pain in your womb because you're literally starting to create another
Yeah.
child because there's an empty slot. Does that make sense? There's no frequency
Mm-hmm.
behind here, but you have three kids. So then your womb goes, oh, well, I need to create. And this is where, again, like physically, you might have had, I'm not saying like pregnancy type patterns or anything like that, but something close to that, or kind of, I don't know. It doesn't, your womb area doesn't feel non-pregnant, I guess. I don't know, or
Mm-hmm.
that kind of feel. So that just release. It's like, oh, I'm really not pregnant. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense a lot actually.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so anyway, all those things will clean up just by cleaning up your daughter, by
Oh,
the way.
brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so So we'll move on. By the way, you'll turn. So in a session, what we did was one, helped you redefine. I didn't talk about it. Helped you redefine becoming a strong woman, because there's always a masculine domination. Even your mom was a masculine domination over you, by the way. And then you used a masculine, say, frequency to protect your space. Now that womanhood can come out of you. You're going to show up back to your, the family, and just you're going to stand tall and strong, and you're going to go, damn, this is who I am. Accept it or not, it doesn't matter because I know who I am, and you'll protect your kids properly as well. Right?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's going to be a vibrant family get together for you. All right.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Mas.
Well, you take care.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's how it's done, man. You just got to get to the core. Most people, most, psychology, science, even quantum computing, by the way, they always focus on the effect. Okay, XI focuses on the cause for you. Okay, and a lot of times the cause is so far removed from the effect, people don't know what the hell is going on, and they'll latch on to anything. So in this case, when you go back to, the family holidays, no matter what it is, there's so many different holidays that are out there: Christmas, Hanukkah, many other holidays that people celebrate, right? Or even a funeral. By the way, so it's kind of a family get together, and with that family get together, what happens, unfortunately, is when people get together as a family, it hardens or strengthens the mastermind that was created. Okay. And then that's where, the families start to dwindle, down. Um, this is also, say, a corporation comes together, right? Or say the Knights Templar and so on like that, right? Those people that got dark, right? In say the Knights Templar, in those kind of things. Um, they were very bright. They were very brilliant. They were very well-meaning. But what happens is that mastermind becomes more and more hardened, and becomes solidified, and then it destroys the people with that mastermind. Okay? And then what happens is that that destruction, that compression, actually starts to cycle people downwards, and then they get dark. So benevolent, say, beings, benevolent, even foundations that started out benevolent start to get really, 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 really dark, and by the way, it's not anything that people do. They have kind hearts, but it's the structure of the universe. It's the physics of the universe. You have to understand the physics of the universe, and that's somebody who's teaching. It's the teacher of God. Thank you, by the way. It's quite an honor. All I'm doing is understanding how, say, the intelligence, however he defines it, has created this reality, this universe, for the past trillions of years. Again, there's a mechanism, there's a structure that's so well refined, trillions of years of refinement. Right? Let's use that rather than creating our own. That's all I'm saying here. That's what XI is about. Okay? Let's get XI, exponentially intelligent, raise our XIQ. Right? All right. We will go on to you all. It's 11:11. Perfect. Can you scan my daughter? Sure. This is Annie 0101. Sure. So for you, Annie, scanning your daughter is actually like separating from you, which is really fantastic in a great way. Okay, because most people, especially when people are in fear, parents are helicopter parent, right? That's the term. When I was growing up, shit, we used to go biking, we used to go fishing, and we'd leave in the morning, we used to go swimming, and then we'd hear the call for dinner, and then when it all come back, everything was safe and so on. Now societies aren't safe. It's gotten worse and worse. People they literally create helicopter parents, right? Every aspect of that child's life is known by the parents, which is terrible, by the way. Just the way Google and Facebook, your government wants to know every aspect of you, and it bothers you. Well, it bothers your kids that you want to know every detail of what's going on with them. It doesn't allow them to learn anything, okay? Because your frequencies are embedded in them, right? right? So in that case, Annie, what's happening for you is you becoming exponentially intelligent, your daughter's separating and going, oh, I have a mind of my own, which is great. And that's why I'm saying, right? I have a mind of my own, and this is where you allow her, okay? You allow her to make mistakes and do whatever that she needs to do. Don't worry, as long as it's not, a threatening of life, and limb and so on like that. Allow her to do it, and she'll make some mistakes, and she'll be fine. Right? That's how you teach people, right? A lot of you, by the way, you've done XI, and sometimes, you have to leave, you have to disconnect from the XI family, which is beautiful, by the way. Okay. It's like I'm very proud of you, the individuals, and then you don't do XI for a while, which is great. Right. And then you leave, you go out and you go out and trek on your own for a bit, and you go, shit, this stuff works. This is fantastic. And then you understand the deeper principles of XI. You solidify the deeper principles because the family structure isn't holding you. You solidify, and then you come back to the XI family. It's like, shit, that worked. I want to know now that I have an identity of my own, right? Because you have to separate from everything. Now that I have an identity of my own, then this is where I can expand on who I am. So MOS, teach me how to expand. So a lot of you, by the way, how many of you are out there that have done that? Didn't do XI for a while, strengthened on your own, and then came back to XI and go, shit, yeah, you're right. I want to expand. I want to learn how to come into the new realm. So again, comment in, by the way, right? This one, Roya, uh, Roya, yeah, we'll have a scan, please. So again, Roya, for you, hon, you're doing really, really fantastic. You're getting, again, not a doctor or anything, but you're getting rid of family dynamics, issues with the head. So right now you're in the realm of cleaning up the way you're aging, basically, or the way your family might have, say, mental instability issues as they age, whatever they call it, Alzheimer's and all that other stuff, that you really don't need to have. Okay. So in that case, you're starting to look at yourself and go, you know what? I don't have to age like that. And you don't, which is really great. So what you've done is you've literally recreated yourself at a frequency level, and then super super subconscious, subconscious level, emotional level, logical level, and now you are coming into a physical level and just like redoing. So it's a second chance on life for you. Right. Frequency coin. I like that idea. I like time coins, frequency coins. I like frequency coin. I think that's kind of cool. Or you could have it like Bitcoin and Ethereum, where Bitcoin would be like the time coin, because what we're here is actually collecting time, right? Creating time the best way, or using time the best. That's the new wealth, by the way. Okay? Is creating time value. So that's the new theme. That's going to be the theme for next year, especially we're going to do a 10-day, a mini human upgrade coming up in January. We'll be talking about that, creating abundance the proper way. Anyway, I was talking about time coins, and then frequencies is like the way Ethereum, sets on top of Bitcoin. So I'm kind of thinking about that. So if you have any ideas, send them in. Carrie Roberts, Masati, can you please check out my daughter's ankles? Well, again, not a doctor or anything like that, but your daughter, not knowing how old she is, she actually feels and she's probably not this age, but she actually feels like she's about like 1 or 2 years of age. Okay. So in that case, she feels older than that, but something happened to her around 1 or 2. She's kind of stuck. So even if she goes through puberty, if she hasn't gone through puberty, for example, it's like her puberty, her bones won't grow into, say, an adult bone structure or a young adult bone structure, because again, her frequency, or her essence, whatever you want to call it, is basically going, well, I'm not. Her time clock, her time functions are distorted because she thinks that she's a young child at 2. So let's help her unlock her, and then this is where she speeds up her time function and she grows into the age that she is. So emotionally, she's a lot younger. If you compare her to other kids, she might not learn as fast and so on like that. Again, she's not slow or anything like that, but her time functions are just a little messed up for her. So with her ankles, again, that's the main structure. Her bone structure can't handle the weight of an older child, obviously. So in that case, as she grows into herself, hopefully her bone structure, and then obviously eating the right foods. Sugars are disastrous to bone health for kids. So I would, obviously get rid of that. So doing the proper things physically, but frequency wise, I can definitely help her out. Okay. All right. Gwen, yeah, so love a scan, big changes coming before Christmas and feeling really off. Absolutely. So in this case, Gwen, you don't want to hold on to your old self because what you tend to do is like, you go to it's kind of like an oval for you. You go all the way out there, you start to find yourself, and then what you do is like you start to come back from some reason. So you have to stop that cycle. So again, when you reach the end of your rope, so to speak, your leash, basically, you need to break that connection and then move forward. Okay. And then a lot of things will happen. Otherwise, you'll just cycle. I can't do that part for you because it's against free will. Okay. So again, you guys have to choose your own. I can only show you the dimensions of space and time that are available for you, but um, choose that space. Okay. Um, Mikhail, my daughter's from you. All right. This was King Kinsden. Moss, can you scan my relationship with my parents and help resolve the angst because of unmet expectations? Sure. So you basically are a duplicate of uh, your cumulative total of mom and dad, basically. So you always have an angst, even with or without your parents. And that's the problem. Sure, your parents might have done this and that to you and all that, but again, you're old. You're old. You got to move on. And the way you move on is not go, well, my parents did this, so therefore I'm going to do that. Because again, your parents' angst will have to grow and expand because you're referencing yourself. And we teach this in Human Upgrade, right? Reference points of who you are, how you're creating yourself. So you're basically you're creating yourself opposite of your dad, of your parents. Could be your dad, but your dad feels feminine. So what happens now is like you duplicate that pattern, even if your parents weren't there, you duplicate that pattern. So in this case, it's not what you do, it's the frequencies that you do that. So take a deep breath in. Let's just separate your identity and what you have. And by the way, you look like a merging of physically, you seem like you look like a merging of your mom and dad, by the way. Okay. That's how strong that frequency is. It's not even your face, by the way. So after this mini session, I would suggest doing more sessions. So after this mini session, you'll start to look in the mirror and go, shit, man. Oh, my mom's here. My dad's here. So when you start feeling that, that's a good thing. Don't hold on to it. Okay. You'll start to remove that idea, and your face will show through your identity, your wants and desires, and then you won't have that angst for you. Okay. Um, This is Zen 13. Been struggling with career and being more functional and productive. Can you please scan me? Sure. So more functional and more productive. It's interesting. People think that, they're lazy, they got to kick themselves in the ass. It's really not about that, huh? It's just that what you do, you have a pattern of losing yourself in situations. You have a pattern of losing yourself in, say, relationships. Right. So what you do then is like, why would you want a career? Why would you want, say, a successful career if you're going to lose yourself in it? Okay. So extreme versions of you then are those people who have overnight fame and fortune, and then the next day you hear that they committed suicide, right? Because they lost themselves in their success. So that's what you don't want. So as you become exponentially intelligent, you're not going to do those things that are, say, detrimental for you, whether you think it's physically, say, beneficial for you. If it's frequency wise detrimental, you're not going to be able to do it because again, that's not the way to do it. So in this case, then 13, what you want to do is like understand who you are and not lose yourself. And then as soon as you get into that, and that's what I'm helping you with. So just notice I want to say your tonsils. I don't know if you have like throat issues. But yeah, you literally get pulled out from here. It's like literally somebody grabbing you, just like pulling you. And comment in, okay? Um, if that's the case. So, so in this case, let's center you, solidify who you are, your identity, and that way the career that you have will actually say expand who you are, not destroy who you are. By the way, you're not alone. Most people hate their jobs. They literally turn into zombies. They lose themselves. That's the sacrifice for, getting paid in dollars. So again, next year, really changing that, where your career, your family life can say elevate who you are. Okay. This is Kingston. Spot on, Moss. You didn't misspeak, Dad. Okay, yeah, and yes, yes, I do see more and more of my parents' face in myself ever since doing XI. Yep. So in this case, Kingston, what you want to do, buddy, is just literally like, boom. This is where you just take that mask off that's you've been living with, and just let go and be your own. Okay. So, but again, you have to do that. You have to step into yourself through XI. You've created that identity of who you are now. Just step in, buddy, and just own it. Okay. Nan, hi, Masati. Hope I've not joined too late. A scan, please. Sure, Nan. So Nan, yeah, for you're really, it's almost like you're reverse aging, which is interesting. I think it's like, you've got more work in this world to do from what I'm seeing now, right? You've got more work in this world to do. And it's like, gosh, you know what? If I get too old, I can't really do as much as I want. A lot of you, by the way, are like that. It's like, God, now that I know about what life should be, right? This is what life should be about. It's like, shit, I'm too old. I kind of messed up. I want to go back. Okay. So in this case, when you start to awaken, and again, there's a religious aspect or spiritual aspect, the science behind it. I'm not going to get into that. Those are more into lectures. But in this case, it's like, yeah, you get a second chance. It's like, yeah, you're right. You know what? You didn't live the life that you could have, the possibilities, right? You didn't fulfill it. So it's like you step back. So this is what's happening for you now. Okay. It might mess you up a little bit. Because again, you're older, but then you're going to go back. So, and then sometimes when people do that, they actually experience some of the things that they had. Like, say you age backwards like 10 years, right? Um, you're going to get messed up. So, because your identity thinks it's 10 years, it's not a mental state, it's your identity. So, again, you're going to cycle backwards, right? By the way, guys, those individuals who have aged a little younger, okay? Uh, please can you please send in photos before and after, and maybe a brief bio on, say, some of the changes, internal structures, if you have lab work, blood work, that's changed for you. Again, if we can document that, I'll be using it for XPRIZE, health and rejuvenation. I'll be using that as sample studies for you. I'm not going to mention your name, but obviously your picture will be there for you, okay? Before and after pictures. That'd be so fantastic to get the XI word out. And talking about the XI word, as we'll scan it just a couple more. Please like and subscribe to this channel, okay? Oh, yep. Yeah, we'll scan two more real quick, and then we'll move on. So one last thing, by the way, was it Next Level Soul? Yeah, Next Level Soul guys did an interview on my near deaths. If the team can post that interview, guys, please watch it, comment on it, so it just keeps perpetuating the flow. Okay. All right. So let's see. This was Wana Sultani, feeling pressure in my head, would love a scan. Yeah, so through the work that so you're just staying here, Wana, what's happening for you, hon, is actually you're starting to go, there's that pressure because you think a lot. And so you really have to, this year or this next year for you, Wana, is literally about your higher self is awakened through whatever you've done with XI. And now you're basically going, shit, I got to live my life. I got to live my life. And if you don't live your life, you'll start to compress, by the way. Okay. So in this case, you need to expand who you are. Okay. And your higher self is so awakened that you cannot be controlled by cultural patterns, identity patterns, and all that stuff. So, all right, Patricia, thanks, epic interview, Moss. Thank you so much. What came here? Oh, thank you so much. Who's this? What is it? Oops, M9D5U. Welcome. I watched it and I came here. So again, welcome. Thanks for joining again. Spread the word, guys. That'd be fantastic. Just tell them, they should watch, Masati on Sunday or something like that. If you comment in, that'd be really fantastic. Okay. This is real food for life. I would love a scan. I don't understand why I have so much pain in my hips, arms, and legs. So again, for you, hon, you carry the burdens of the past. Seems like you're the type that nurture people who are passing away, or you nurtured somebody like that. You took care of somebody. You're a caretaker. So what you do, even as a like you took care of somebody when you were 12 to 15 years old, right? So when I see you, I don't see you as having like a childhood, so to speak. I just see you, I see a 12-year-old with the burdens of a 30, 40-year-old, that kind of deal, or older, maybe. So you're 12, but you're 30, that kind of feel. So you take on the burdens of, say, your parents, your grandparents, and so on like that. Just what that last visual scan, it's very similar to that. I was talking about that. So take a breath in. Let's just remove that. And this is where people can eat really well, do all their things. They create a mission to go, gosh, I'm going to solve, the world's problems, like food for life and all that stuff. But again, the real reason is you want to heal yourself. So in this case, let's remove your grandma. There's so many people in this lower half. Your lower half feels very different than your upper half, basically. So take a breath in. So people who take care of people in a certain way, whether they're nursing home people or you took care of your parents and so on, basically it's like you harbor their burdens. You carry the weight of your burdens. So breath in, by the way, guys, all of you, as we end. Let's make it a great holiday season, guys. The way we make it great is giving that gift of frequencies to yourself and to others. So shine your light, okay? Shine your light. Allow your light to shine, okay? It's not other people that's dimming your light. Well, it is. But again, if you allow yourself to shine and be who you truly are by asking yourself, right, who you truly are, and then what will happen for you is that your light will shine. And as your light shines, well, this is where you help the world. And that's the best present that you can give to the world and to yourself. Okay. It's a gift that keeps on giving. All right, guys. All right, guys. So again, notice what you notice, and then notice the details. Subscribe to this channel. Become exponentially intelligent. All right. Peace.